In this video, we will preview and analyze the DSTV Premiership match between Kaizer Chiefs and Sekhukhune United. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pelo, I am your host. This is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Khosi Football Club. A big match for Kaizer Chiefs playing against Sekhukhune this weekend. And Daniel Cardoso has just made this match even more interesting, coming out earlier this week and talking about how youngsters will not win you cups and stuff like that. And then yesterday, in an interview with Radio 2000, Kaizer Mtaung Jr. clapped back at him and he was like, nope, this guy was here at Kaizer Chiefs for 7 years, yet he didn't win anything. But now he's coming out and he's talking about titles. What is he talking about? So that has now actually stirred the pot a bit and has just made this match even more interesting because Daniel Cardoso himself will be wanting to prove a point to Chiefs Suguti. These youngsters will be in my pocket and they will not win because I told you so. So okay, Chiefs, I hope they're extra motivated. I will say Uguti Sekhukhune nayo, they are still fighting and they won't just take it and lay down because they are 7th on the league with 32 points and they are trying to stay in the top 8. However, their form has not been great because in the previous 5 games, they've won 1, drawn 2, and lost 2. But they're playing against Kaizer Chiefs. And we know, Guti, whenever any team is playing against Kaizer Chiefs, their game goes up. In addition to the fact that they're trying to play for something, they're also coached by Brendan Truter, who, as we know, Guti, when he plays against Kaizer Chiefs, he always gives us problems. So there's also the Guti system, Brendan Truter and Guti. They don't do what the other teams that we've played against usually do. The teams that we play against, they will come against us and then they will press us high and try to play the ball and dominate position. But with Sekhukhune, they will just sit deep and wait for a counter. And in fact, that's the same thing that happened earlier on in the season when we were playing against them on our birthday, Kaizer Chiefs' birthday. They just waited and then they got one counter, which was also a mistake. And then it ended up being a goal and then we lost the game 1-0. And it was frustrating and annoying to watch that game because we're like, oh, it's the 50, it's the birthday celebration here, Chiefs. And then Chiefs ended up losing the game. So okay, let's talk about how are we going to approach this game and how is it going to be different from the game that we played earlier on in the season. But before we break down that and all that information, please do make sure to like the video and subscribe to this channel. In this channel, we speak everything Kaizer Chiefs. We preview matches like this one. We speak about Kaizer Chiefs transfer news. We have my live streams every day at 7:30, weekdays at 7:30, and we also have a match day watch along and preview. Before the match, we talk about the game, and then we talk about the game during the game as well, and then we analyze the game after the game as well. So if you're interested in that type of content, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Anyways, let's go on to Ugutige. Earlier on in the season, the game that we played against Sekhukhune, one of the things that infuriated me is the fact that the pitch was so bad. My God, the pitch was so bad. But once again, Sekhukhune was also playing in the same pitch. But my argument is that the pitch was bad and the Chiefs tries to play the ball on the ground. And all the time when the players tried to play, Umatlatsinje was one of the players who was affected by that mainly. Because every time he tried to get on the ball, then he would lose balance because the grass was like coming off and stuff. So that affected the game here, Chiefs. So we are taking that out. And then the Chiefs considered a goal a counter, as I mentioned earlier. So what should Chiefs do? First of all, the 3 things that we always talk about. Minimize our mistakes, right? Minimize the amount of mistakes that you're making. But the 2 most important things that we're going to have to do tomorrow is one, on Sunday, is set up a system for defending against our counters. Make sure we are solid at the back. Udove and Ongezana have been doing well. We're going to need their partnership to be even better on Sunday, because if they are not, then Sekhukhune will just depend on those counters and they will hit us hard, which will mean we also need to be able to break down defenses. We've played against defensive teams that were 10 men, that were 1 man down and they were playing with 10 men, and we failed to break them down. So to win, Chiefs will have to be able to move the ball around long enough and move the team around long enough to be able to find spaces in the defense or around the defense of Sekhukhune United, because we struggle with this. Like, whenever a team is defensive, we seem to struggle, and that is why it's been easier for us to play with teams that have a position, because then we can utilize the space that they are living in behind. So who fits the system that Uzwane will probably play? Yoguti abe positionally and try to stretch its defense. Yes, Sekhukhune. It's interesting because we are also missing Umat. Not too much. We're missing Ustebe and we're also missing Uhlant. So this is my predicted lineup. Remember last week I gave a predicted lineup and people were saying, it's far-fetched, and the lineup was exactly what I said. Anyways, in goal, Brendan Peterson, obviously, and Solomon's, there's been nothing said which is not going to be available for this game, and even the website has just said only Hlanti and Sitebe are suspended. So I'm guessing Solomons will be back at right back, which will mean Ufrosla will then play as a left back, and this will not like hurt Ufrosla that much, because I think what he will be doing Vele is just trying to stretch a defense Sekhukhune tomorrow, because him and Frosla will just stay wide and make sure they stretch it defense, and then they will allow the wingers to invert, and then basically we'll have 5 people up front, and then Pamwabo, the midfielders, will also add numbers. So that will be the job of the right back and the left back, to basically go up front and stretch the defense Sekhukhune, in a way also pinning back Sekhukhune as well, which they will be doing in any case. And then Ngezana and Dove obviously are going to play as a center back pairing, and we're obviously going to see the pairing Gazwan and Umat, because they played together when Ustebe wasn't available, and I think they will do the same thing, which will mean Umtu will be back on tomorrow's game. Or will he? Because there is this thing that could happen, right? We know Gutu Matlo is the player that is trusted for breaking down defenses and making eloquent passes. So I wouldn't be surprised if I see Umatlo actually playing as a 10. But below, if Umatlo is playing as a 10, who plays as a right wing? As a right wing, I think it would be Umtu, because Umtu, if you saw in the previous game, he came on for Usaile and he played in that position, and then he was also kind of free rolling it. So I think it's a possibility Ugutumtu might be given a role to play as a right winger if they want to make it space for Matlo and also to rest Usaile, because in recent games, I won't lie, he's not been that great. So I don't think Usaile might start tomorrow's game, and that might just open a space for either Umatlo or Umahlatsi, because in the case of Umahlatsi, it's that case Yoguti can carry the ball and he can take on players. But in the case Gamatlo, it's the fact that he has passes that can be able to penetrate and find our teams, our runs, to pre behind our defenders. Although I know they will be compact, but a player of his ability, we have seen glimpses here and there, Yoguti, he can play those good passes. And then Dupree and Dolivelle up front. So it's here to tomorrow. What they need to do is to just be calm. Sunday is to be very calm and make sure Guti, we don't rush this thing. Guti, we get an opportunity, we want to shoot, because we end up wasting chances, and because of that we get frustrated and then the games get away from us. What do you think about tomorrow's game, Sunday's game? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one, and until next time, remember, equals Alpelumo.